she's saying that the 34, there's a pond on the side of the road with a 6-foot gap in the reeds.
We're only 18 miles from there. It's almost like I can't get there fast enough right now. Just that feeling that you have. You have a disturbance right there. There's no reason ice would be broken like that at all. I think I have something.
Robert and Loveda Proctor went to Grand Island in January. They apparently got lost, trying to get back home to Aurora. That was almost 6 weeks ago.
They're driving a Chrysler Pacifica 2007 license plate 1030. He was a veteran for 21 years. He was a Seabee. He served in Korea and he served in Vietnam. And Loveda and he were married at 25 and 27 years old. On the date that they went missing, Robert was having some medical issues. He had been admitted to the hospital at Veterans by his doctor and then was actually put in the ambulance and brought to St. Francis Hospital in Great Isle, Nebraska. Loveda has issues with her eyesight at night. So those are the things that, start to really make us think about what was going on.
We have to start building a profile. Where did they live? Well, they lived up in Aurora. Where did she pick them up? She picked them up in Grand Isle at the hospital. But then where was she last seen? And so now we have the flagpole incident where she backs into the flagpole. We have the, just down the road, the school at the roundabout was the very last location. And so that gives us a new ground zero that here we are 37 minutes away from their home. And so I think, to make the best use of our day, one is we're dealing with a new scenario for us. We haven't gotten into locations to where everything is now frozen. We have the 360 sonar that we can auger some holes, drop the 360 in there, but we also have a magnetometer as well. We have nothing in the way of a car. I think that traversing that on that side is too far and too shallow. Rocks and bottom.
Robert and Loveda Proctor were last seen this past Thursday, and their sons and their families, along with several others, are searching tonight for the couple. And they're also asking for the help of you at home to keep an eye out for the couple and their car.
So let us know where you're planning on starting tomorrow, and we'll see if we can't meet you there.
Email from the office just came in, said, I heard that you're coming to Nebraska to search for the Proctor couple. Please, please, please check the Bosamon cabin next to the river. I sent Lacey a message about it. I hope you can help this family.
Okay, so that Bosamon cabin, we believe, is actually right behind the Motel 6 on the river, where it's the middle fork of the Platte River.
Okay. I think we're near it. Let's go check this out right away.
Morning.
So my dad was on the interstate already past Grand Island, and he pulled the Dukes of Hazzard in the middle of the interstate. So my mom ran in to get coffee real quick.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he got pulled over.
No, he's lucky he didn't. But yeah, they're over there, so they're almost ready to go.
Okay, yeah, we'll just follow you over to where this cabin is at, and yeah, let's put eyes on it and double check it, and then we'll go over our
It is gated. So we'll have to, I think my dad has a contact he could maybe get a hold of to see if we could get information on like who to speak to get in, or
I mean, if it's been gated, I mean, what we're looking for is we're just looking for those easy accidents. What if, you know, your grandma ended up falling asleep? What if she had a medical emergency? That's what we're looking at. So, I mean, if you're already telling us 100% no on that one, like there's no way unless the gate is open, you're intentionally driving in.
I mean, I've looked at it several times. I mean, the ditch isn't, I don't think it's super deep, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think we should still check it at least.
Okay. Is the water open there underneath the...
I want to say there's a fence around it.
Okay, yeah, let's wait for your dad. We'll just drive past it and then...
Get focused on the next piece.
Yeah, and then we'll just break down the entire day of how we're going to grid this out and just start moving over on each one of these water crossings throughout the day.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll follow you over. We're now back on 34. Part of our game plan in the next 2 or 3 days, as far as our gridding this out, is going to be back on 34, heading west from the school, and just visualize what we're going to see down there versus what she would normally see every time she drove from.
It's very, very similar. It's very similar.
And at 4 in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, it's all going to be black and look even more similar.
Exactly, and Victor also talked about the fact that the smokestacks and all those different things, the large farm buildings.
Oh, the silos like this?
The silos that he saw, so that they would think that they were going close to Aurora because we have something similar on this side too, from Grand Island. So that's sitting at the snow level. So someone could have gotten in here and actually that's what popped the whole fence down. But it looks like something came through here. But I don't see any marks like where someone came off the road.
Yeah, I don't see anything snapped in here. All right, so yeah, let's go over kind of what our game plan is today then, and kind of how we broke it down after talking to the game warden yesterday and really focusing on the rivers and how we want to grid this now for the next, for today and moving forward. One is we definitely wanted to hit this 34 anyway, heading back into Aurora, since what if she did make it up north on 281 and then back made the ride over here. And so where is she going to possibly go, making this our new ground zero, and how are we going to start searching this? We know that she kept moving this way. One of the things we really want to focus in on is 34 with, did she happen to notice any major sign coming west on 34 to where then she noticed, all right, 80, I know I got to get back to 80. If I can get back there, I know where I'm going to be and I can get my way back. With the game warden conversation, with the river being the only thing that was not frozen at the time, we want to drive each one of these down to 34 across in every paved road back up and over where there's any bridge crossing. So this is kind of how we want to grid it throughout the day, and just keep working our way down to Kearney, maybe down, another 10 miles past Kearney, see how far we get with this one today, and then are hopeful that we do find them somewhere here.
And it seems like they've only gone 20 miles in 8 hours. So she's stopping. They're eating, they're drinking, they're using the bathroom, they're stopping, asking for directions. They're in the wind, they're staying off the side of the road. She's almost waiting for the light. You know what I mean? Like she's like, I can't see, I can't drive this way. He can't drive, he's not capable of doing it. I might as well just wait till morning and I'll just keep driving until I know where the heck I am.
Gosh, and if Grandpa tried to drive, he is like,
he's bad.
He's flooring it.
He drives fast and he drives like this.
Yeah.
Would she let him drive?
She has, but only once that I know of, and that was home from Grand Island because she couldn't see, and he was crossing the center line. The rumble strips was continuously going off, and my mom said, "I am not letting him drive again."
Who do you think was driving going west?
My mom.
You think so? Then when they got back in the car after you used the bathroom?
Yeah, I would believe my mom.
Got
My
it.
mom's better later at night as
Yeah,
far as
she
staying up. My
stays
mom
up
usually
later.
stays up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning doing puzzles in the basement. My dad will go to bed, and then she'll go to bed. She usually gets up around 10:30 every morning.
Got it.
And she gets up and gets coffee and goes to the bathroom and watches her morning show that she's been watching for 50 years, Days of Our Lives, or one of them there, you know. And then she makes her bed. And that's kind of what gave me, you know, the thought that they weren't home because their bed was made that morning at 10:30. And it's like, no, that's not them. They weren't here last night at 6. They're not here at 10:30 in the morning. Don't think they'd been home.
Okay.
And then we started looking and figuring things out. And we figured out definitely the last time they were home was Wednesday around 3:30 or somewhere in there.
Okay.
But I would say if Grandma did get desperate, I wouldn't put it past her. I mean, I wouldn't completely rule out that she would let Grandpa
Let
drive.
Grandpa drive. No, I wouldn't completely
And
rule it
that's-
out either.
That's where it would really
Get
be.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially if she's not.
She's exhausted.
Yeah, she is exhausted. Yeah.
You know.
She might. Or she might pull over and say, I got to take a nap. My dad would say, well, I'll drive.
Well, you know, it's.
And she might let him. I don't know.
I mean, when they take a break for 20 minutes and he gets a Coke, I mean, that's what I would do if I was going to switch drivers. I'd tell my wife, hey, let's grab a drink and let's grab a coffee and then I'll switch and I'll drive the rest. I'll figure out how to get home.
But you looked at the footage though from the gas station there when they had the Cokes.
No, they lost that
They
footage.
lost it the day before.
That was the one that they
Seen
reviewed
it
it
on
Sunday,
Sunday.
and then the next day they went to look at it again because then the Paul Graham was going to go and watch with them.
Okay.
And it had already erased over because it was of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they indicated that time that your grandma stayed in the driver's seat the entire time and she never got out?
No, she went inside.
She went inside
They
as
both
well,
went
so
inside there.
I don't know of who was driving when they left.
So they only have footage of them inside. They don't have footage of them outside when they reviewed it. Do you know? Did you get
We
that
don't
information?
know what they saw, but they said that they are real sure it was them.
Okay. Yes.
So it's 1:39 in the morning.
Yeah, difficult to confuse two elderly people at 1:30 in the morning.
And there, when we drove through there were only a few people in the parking lot at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So if there were 1 or 2 people that you would recognize and remember.
Yeah.
So.
All right, then yeah, let's do this then. Just I'll take the lead then, and we'll just
Okay.
start covering these, and then any place that we feel like we need to just pull over and check.
I'm gonna walk up the first one because it's right there.
Yep,
and
I'll pull
see-
up there to you.
Okay.
I'll meet you up there.
And it's not deep enough. That whole section, you can see the sand on the bottom. Yeah, you can see the bottom all the way through. It's only like 34 inches deep at the max, at the deepest point. There's no hole here that actually could take a vehicle. If he's driving, it's a game changer. It's a total game changer from the standpoint of speed, from everything.
Yeah, which means also look at these bridges also for any bridge damage had he flipped on there as well.
He's tired, he's sick, you know, or he's not feeling well, he's ill, and he's having issues, you know, medically, and he's now taking the wheel, if possibly at 2 o'clock in the morning at the Senex after they walk out of there after taking a break. He gets in the driver's seat, he said, no, I'm driving. We haven't gotten home, I'm driving. That's a whole different game.
So see how close these can be? So no on this side, and you can see the bottom right here. Let's go hit 2 more.
Okay.
And then let's go hit 34
I agree.
all the way down.
Yeah, I think he was ripping. I think he got in the car and just was like, I'm going this way.
all speculation. That's all we have to go on right now. Is can we put ourselves in his shoes? If he's the one behind the wheel now. So no, everything is just like 18 inches, 20 inches deep. So if they're in the Platte, I mean, the car's gonna be sticking out. Yeah. But we do want to finish off, the 2 more sections between here and Kearney. Let's go ahead and do that one.
Okay.
And then after that, I mean, we're making great time today. So then we'll jump on to the 34, and then let's just run all of 34 and see what we have along that.
Sounds good.
Bill had something for you. He wanted to have you guys run over and double check.
You want to check 32 Mile Lake because it actually comes close to the road. It's right down here.
Okay.
So we want to have you just double check that to see if there's any easy access.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we'll see you over there.
All right.
Was there an opening in the pond itself at all? Got it. Understood. I'll take a look. We'll take a look. No problem. Thank you. Bye.
Did you just break the brake we needed?
Huh?
Did you just get the brake we needed?
I don't know. She said that she was driving down 34 to Minden, and that.
I know right where it's at. We're not that far from there right now.
Yeah. We're doing the Hartwells first, then we're doing Minden, but she's saying that at Minden, 34, there's a pond on the side of the road with a 6-foot gap in the reeds.
Why don't we just go to there right now?
Because we're going to stay on our track.
You have a hot tip like that one. I cannot go search these other ones where we've been dealing with 18-inch rivers.
Understood.
When you have a 6-foot gap.
Understood.
We're only 18 miles from there.
There's a pond at an intersection that goes straight or right.
So from the roundabout, this is going to put us right at that 20-minute mark, or 20-mile mark that we were talking about. It's almost like I can't get there fast enough right now. Just that feeling that you have.
So the reporter said that she saw something where a 6-foot gap in the trees, in the reeds that are all the way around, and there's one over there. You'd have to fly to get into that. Yeah, there's no way they can get in here.
You gotta. Nothing there. This would be really obvious.
It would have to be on that side,
Yeah.
on the dirt road.
Or some heavy damage.
This is the pond. This is the pond that's the turnoff.
All right, so we need to head up towards Lowell then. Start the route.
Going to 2220 West.
All right, so no go off the right side.
Can't go off the right because of the bridge.
Left side, too shallow.
It's mud.
Nothing's down. All right, well, let's go meet up with Victor on 10 then.
In 1 3/4 miles, turn left on I-80.
So there's tire tracks there.
How far do those go?
Jared, I'd more think here.
Huh?
I'd more think here if it was anywhere.
You have a disturbance right there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the width of it. This is not somebody ice fishing here.
Put the boat in.
Yeah, I would say just their boat, and we'll just break it as we go out there with the sonar on it. I mean, I'm not going to say that we have, but we might have just found your grandparents. There's no reason ice would be broken like that at all. All right, let's put a boat in. Everything about this build just says yes.
With the broken ice location, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that's going to break ice like this. We're 10 feet deep. I need to put 360 on here. Okay, that's a 30-foot swash. Swash right there. We got the shoreline is right there, so I can see everything from here to the shoreline. It's not giving me a solid car reading anywhere. I want to go out further. I'll let you hold on to that. I feel like all of this here is recently frozen. I think I have something, but I'm not sure. Let me go over here. Down imaging. I don't think it's gonna pick it up on that like I want it to. That's not gonna do it there.
Like it looks like the tracks go right there in the water.
I'm not picking up what I had before, but we're dealing with a newer car too. We're gonna put a motor on and break it up so that way I can do a proper side scan in here and feel really good about covering this. Oh, this is so much better than running it with the shovel. Okay, so now let's run 75 and 75. Keep getting a shadow over here. I'm just not convinced that we don't have a car over here. So directly right in front of us there. Potentially, we have something of interest to us. So it's going to be 20 feet in front of us. Right directly over the top right now. Just 2 feet wide that way. Very shiny. I'm gonna put my nose right on that solid ice. That way we're not moving around. That this bottom one is a log at this moment in time because it's about 8 feet long. I'm going to change this to 120 and cast underneath that ice as far as I can. See if I can pick up a vehicle. All right, let's just do one more pass through there. Let's call this one good for now. Not clear, but good. Then we'll come back in a day or two when it's a little less icy. I do want to double check this area one more time through here as well though. And then the other thing, you know, as you start to scour the shoreline, I'm not going to rule it out, but I'm going to say consider it and come back, is that there's a lot of concrete that's over there. Sidewalk and curb. That could give a reading that's bright and shiny. All right, let's call that good for now then. We'll put a pin in it. We'll keep this one in mind. We'll come back if we need to. So over on this entire section here, I'm 100% confident. Over here, what we had a potential concern of was the thinking of it appeared to be body shape. However, what we have is we have concrete that will actually show up in the same gold type of a coloring. So I'm not 100% convinced that we might have somebody that may have swam out of a vehicle. I was able to cast 120 feet underneath and get a good reading. I didn't see anything underneath the ice there. It's one of those things that right now, let's put a pin in it. Let's come back, you know, in a few days when it's warmer and more things have melted, but let's continue our search for some other potential, you know, bodies of water that we might have a better chance of finding them as well. But over here, I'm 100% confident for everything I've covered over here. I don't feel as though a vehicle is more shallow on the other end, but where we were at coming through here, it does get down to 30 feet deep. So again, you know, we didn't see any tire tracks except for right here, but coming into the water, we didn't see anything that like went solid into the water that said, hey, we have to stay on this one. This is
all this grass over here, right? There is a path, a vehicle wide, where it is all leaning that direction where the most of it's standing straight up.
Uh-huh.
Like right through here. If you look at a lot of that grass, it's all pointing that direction.
Right.
And this grass is mostly standing straight up.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm gonna stay close to the boat so that way if I fall in. Just like that. I found the soft spot. do I have a car right there? Yeah, I don't think it's a car. We'll see though. Okay, let's go further. Wish me luck. All right, we're good.
Ready?
Yeah. While you're locking up there, I'm gonna go put some dry clothes on. And then we'll head over to the 10 bridge. Oh, here's our bridge crossing. No go on any of that there. And then this side, you would rip that fence out. You would have taken some trees out, so there'd definitely be some.
Yeah, you can't get through there.
Yeah.
You won't get through that. There'd be all kinds of fence that would be showing.
Yeah, and you have those tall stick
and
weeds
there's
over there
nothing-
too.
There's nothing showing that anything's hit against this.
All right, well, let's head over to 10 then.
As soon as you get to Keystone Road, there's on the left-hand side, there's a big sand pit with straight shots into the water. One large, with multiple roads around it. You're actually going over a long distance of the Platte River with a bridge that goes for a long way. This is interesting with the double bridge. You could drive right in there.
So you see the ripples there? Yeah, no, so you can see the ripples out there, the sand. So you're not getting out there. Yeah, I mean, there's some other water over there, but it's still water and frozen.
We're actually going down to see what we see at this Y, where they would either take a right-hand turn and go where all these bodies of water are to get back on Interstate 80, or if they actually went 34, which goes right along the river. So either one of them, this is where I think, from the standpoint of what we're looking at, these two locations where it Y's off become more dangerous for them because they're going straight into water and they're going along water. 12 a.m. it was at 26.7 miles an hour here at 12, and then dropped down by 6 a.m. it was still 20 miles an hour. So they had heavy winds in Kearney.
Almost like they would have been following the wind, or staying in the heart of the wind.
Staying in the heart of the wind, it seems. Just kept dealing with it everywhere they went. Small stream with a drainage swale on the left. And then you come in, take a left on Brant's Lakewood Drive. That's it. Right there's a boat ramp.
That's weird. Is it a house? It's a house. Right, nothing broken there.
And you have another one that goes straight into the water again on the next one. You know, and if she decides, or he decides, or she decides, I'm not, you know, we clear this area, and I'm not getting on the highway, because he said that she wouldn't take the highway. That 30 goes along, and it has this edge right in along the pond, all the way down. This whole section, like, straddles the edge of these ponds, and then again.
And I agree with you on 30 versus 80.
She doesn't want to go 40 miles an hour on the highway at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Not getting through there. Not getting through there. Out of all of that we covered today, little disappointed that we only had one body of water. Now, on that note, I'm also happy that we had one body of water that I can now tell, you know, Lacey and Victor and Tammy, we've cleared that one. I feel really confident about what I cleared on that one.
You know, we've been grid searching this entire section. We started at Hastings, and we've worked, you know, pretty much every single main road that is blacktop, up and back, from Interstate 80 back down to 34. We're working that 34 corridor all the way down, and then we took 44 up into Kearney, where right now we probably have about 30 or 35 bodies of water that are larger at sand and gravel locations that we're, you know, going to have to clear, just to make sure that if they came into Kearney, that this area is that we're confident that it's clear. A lot of them are like this one here, which is, it's a big drop off, but they're in spots that are just not normal for someone to drive into a back parking lot to get into.
Yeah, you know, and so then we come back to the whole dementia, you know, with the, you know, she had a hard time even finding the hospital that night to go pick him up. And then, you know, going from 6 p.m. to, you know, multiple times she would stop at gas stations. How do I get back to Aurora? You know, to stopping off at people's houses, to running into flagpoles, to the, you know, what really happens when early onset of dementia and full onset of dementia just hits you. It really, we don't have anything that's really going to make sense, other than at least we have 5 or 6 sightings that kind of started taking them in the right direction. But then what if something else just completely snapped and they ended up east and we're not even looking east?
Or south to Alma, where that large pond is, where the causeway is. You know, I think we've cleared the Platte River. I mean, we've seen that it's only 6 to 20 inches deep.
Yeah.
So at every single bridge crossing, we've looked at every one of them on, I'd say, 15 different crossings, and each one of them is clear because there's just not enough depth of water there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think at this point, the notion that they drove 20 minutes to 30 minutes and kept driving and maybe stopping and driving and trying to get to the point where they could see that, you know, the light came of the morning, which doesn't come till about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, according to the family. You know, at that location in Holdridge where there's a tee-off, 22 goes to the right, 34 stays to the left. Did they stay to the left and stay on 34 thinking that this looks like we're getting closer to home, that we're back in Grand Isle and we're closer to Aurora? Or did they go to 22 back to, you know, where we are now? So,
you know, and this is where, you know, I do want to, many of you that have been with us for quite a while also, you know that we just pretty much stick to here's a 5-mile radius. Are they within that? That's where we normally will find them. But then, you know, we've been expanding to a 10-mile radius and a 15-mile radius. Now, from Aurora, today we were over 60 miles out as we work with what's currently making sense to us in our mind as we try to piece this together of something that does not make sense. So we want to say thank you for being here and supporting us along our journey. Part of that, and the way that we're able to do it, is through donations. We do have a link down below. We do also sell merchandise with window breakers in the event that you need to escape from a vehicle. But the number one thing that we ask of you, it's free. Simply subscribe and share these videos. And if you have not watched episode number 1 of this, check it out in the description.
This is a search that we're really dedicated to it, because we really want to help the family find some closure and close a chapter of this book that has been a nightmare for them for the last 40 days.
Yeah. Well, it's not just this family either. We really put our heart into every single one of them. This one, it's just hit me different. And like I said, if you watched the first episode, you watch this episode, and tomorrow's episode, I think it's really going to hit you guys as well. So we'll see you on tomorrow's search.
They're so far from home. And when did she figure it out that she was totally lost? 7 a.m.?
Robert and Loveda Proctor were last seen this past Thursday, and their sons and their families, along with several others, are searching tonight for the couple. And they're also asking for the help of you at home to keep an eye out for the couple and their car.
Do they end up in the water right here that is not frozen? And it's going to be right over, straight behind you, straight off the ramp.